Well, I have another question that's basically just me asking why Obama is wrong again. But part of what I think is so sad about this whole election is that people aren't given a real choice. Like, there's not a real clear difference between the Democrats and the Republicans on a lot of issues. And in my opinion, the kind of moment the light bulb went on for a lot of progressives was when Obama voted for immunity for the telecom companies that had spied on U.S. citizens. And I wanted to just get your opinion on FISA.
Well, I mean, I think it was it's just a terrible example. I mean, I think that's got to be the worst vote that I've seen. I just don't understand how the president can be rewarded and the companies that spied on his behalf don't even have to tell us what they did before we, in effect, excuse them, grant immunities, and make sure that nobody ever finds out what they did. To think that a presidential candidate who's going to change the culture of Washington thinks that that's okay, I think that's the sort of thing that should make it impossible for him to win your vote. I think that progressives need a litmus test, and we need to just start saying, look, if you vote for the war, if you vote for the Patriot Act, if you vote for the FISA bill, if you support the death penalty, forget it. You're done. You can't get my vote. I don't care what's going on. I don't care who you're running against. It's just over. I'm voting for somebody else or I'm staying at home.
We've done that on the show, where we've talked to so many Obama voters, and it's heartbreaking because they always will side with your ticket. And actually, I think it was John Lewis from Georgia. He was on Democracy Now!, and they were talking about the Troy Davis death penalty case. And, he's been stumping for Obama, and he's also, desperately trying to get Troy Davis off of death row, along with, Amnesty International and Desmond Tutu, everybody. And, Amy Goodman kind of called him on it, even though the conversation was pretty much just about Troy Davis, but she goes, you're supporting Barack Obama, who's for the death penalty. And it was one of the first times on sort of television where I heard a politician stop and, kind of assess, and he kind of, he just very solemnly said, it's going to get to a point where I don't think I'm going to be able to support anybody who votes for the death penalty. And then the conversation just went on, but it was just such a sad moment where it's just like, man, like, it breaks this guy's heart. But he feels like, he has to do it. And, so I guess on those litmus gay marriage is another issue.
Absolutely.
I suspect you are pro-gay marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that, I think that this is, this is probably the first time anybody has, and this is pretty sad, where an interviewer has specifically asked me about the death penalty or specifically brought up the FISA vote.
Oh, that's terrible.
In the FISA context, I usually bring that up. The death penalty, I've been shocked at how, it just nobody has ever brought it up, and I think that it's just a sad indictment of where we are. Most interviewers just make the assumption that Obama has voted well, and so all they want to know is like, hey, why do we want to mess it up for Obama? And
right.
It's almost like I want to say, you're kidding, right? Why don't you call me up after you've done some research? It's like,
right.
Are you really going to, is this the level of discourse that we're going to have in this country? So I'm delighted that both of you are so well informed, and I wish I had met you earlier. I would have wanted you working on the campaign and want you around me all the time. So
we would have, hey, if you like that, I got a war on drugs question coming up. The FISA thing, that surprises me. The death penalty thing doesn't surprise me. The FISA thing surprises me, especially because even if the media doesn't like talking about issues, they love, talking about this flip-flopping. And Obama, not only did he say that he was going to, he said he was going to filibuster. Like, not only did he say he wasn't going to vote for it, but he was passionate. He's like, anything that gives a telecom immunity. By the way, I should have ended the interview when you said we'll have you on the campaign, and no one's asked me that. I should have been like Matt Gonzalez, because it can go nowhere but down. But yeah, he said he would filibuster it, and I'm just, shocked that nobody. Maybe it's just like what, you opened your Counterpunch article with exactly how I felt, which is just like, man, you want to like this guy for so many reasons, His backstory seems, is more modest than most politicians, and there are so many reasons, but and all it takes is a little bit of research, and I had to be nudged into it from Allison, because again, I wanted to like him, and I was, we met, we came to the Wall Street protest that you and Ralph had, and we met some Obama supporters who just, when we brought up the death penalty, their answer was literally, they're like, oh, no, he doesn't support it. And that was the end of it. And we're like, no.